As a Christian video maker, not everyone agrees with my views. As a result, I get some interesting comments, to say the least, sometimes. For example, I recently made a video about the Ouija board discussing how we cannot actually communicate with departed spirits of the dead because the Bible teaches that people go to sleep in the grave after they die. As a result, I got the following comment. 300%, I highly doubt that. The media is satanic owned, so of course the devil's minions will lie. No, the Bible says they are in heaven or hell instantly. They are not asleep. You are just as lost as a Ouija user. What about the transfiguration with Jesus, John, Peter, and James was on the mountain who saw Elijah and Moses? There is no soul sleep. Usually I just ignore comments like this because of their negative overtones, but there is something I can salvage from this. There is a good point here. The Bible very clearly teaches that people sleep in the grave after they die. If you watched my video entitled Ouija, Satan's Favorite Board Game, then you will see some quotes from the Bible I used to prove this. However, there are some exceptions. Because, just like Theona said, Moses and Elijah appeared on the Mount of Transfiguration. Matthew chapter 17 verses 1 through 3 puts it this way. And after 6 days, Jesus taketh Peter, James, and John his brother, and bringeth them up into a high mountain apart, and was transfigured before them. And his face did shine as the sun, and his raiment was white as the light. And behold, there appeared unto them Moses and Elias, talking with them. Then answered Peter and said unto Jesus, Lord, it is good for us to be here. If thou wilt, let us make here 3 tabernacles, one for thee, and one for Moses, and one for Elias. There are other examples of people that are in heaven now as well. We have Enoch from Genesis chapter 5 verse 24. There it says, And Enoch walked with God, and he was not, for God took him. Hebrews chapter 11 verse 5 expounds upon that, stating, By faith Enoch was translated, that he should not see death, and was not found, because God had translated him. For before his translation he had this testimony, that he pleased God. Then we have Ephesians chapter 4 verse 8, which talks about Jesus taking captives to heaven with him. Many believe these so-called captives to be the saints that were raised from the sleep of death in Matthew chapter 27 verses 52 and 53, which tells us, And the graves were opened, and many bodies of the saints which slept arose, and came out of the graves after his resurrection, and went into the holy city, and appeared unto many. Besides these examples, we do not have any literal explanation of people going to heaven before Jesus' return. And nowhere does it say anyone is burning in hell now. Now, there are reasons why Jesus allowed Enoch, Moses, and the resurrected saints into heaven, mainly because they serve as examples of the 2 classes of believers that will exist at the second coming of Jesus, which includes the righteous dead and the righteous living. For example, Moses represents the righteous dead because he had to be resurrected to be taken to heaven because the Bible tells us that he died. But Enoch and Elijah were both taken to heaven before death, and so they represent the righteous living. The Bible makes it clear people sleep in the grave after death to await the return of Jesus Christ. Christians of all generations have understood this. Where do you think the statement, rest in peace, comes from? For someone who has passed away. Not to mention, the Bible describes the state of the dead as asleep over 50 times. It is the devil who actually wants people to believe otherwise, because he and his fallen angels pose as departed spirits of the dead, of our loved ones, or other influential people to deceive and lead astray. There is a lot more that can be said about this subject and many other interesting subjects of the Bible, so I'm going to leave a link in the description box to some free online Bible study guides that you can click on, and they will give you more information. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like it and share it on your social media. Subscribe if you're new, and follow me on Facebook. I share more content there and read and reply to messages on there more than on YouTube because they're easier to keep track of. God bless.